Happy New Year or not. According to human design, this is not the new year. The new year is not for several more weeks. And I just discovered this from my expert human design analyst friend, Natalia, who basically has a PhD in human design and knows way, way more about it in greater detail. And she explained all about the transits and how the sun moves through the 64 hexagrams in a yearly cycle that does not end until around January 22nd. So we are in the next few weeks in a phase of completion, not in a phase of moving into initiation, as we are led to believe by our social conditioning. And so today she's going to explain all about this so we really understand and also are prepared for what could we really do in the next few weeks to greater harvest and work in alignment with the energies that are actually present for us collectively. I was tempted to do a video about the coming year, like a forecast style video, and for some reason I was holding off, and now I know why, because Natalia and I are going to publish a video on my YouTube channel on January 22nd with a year ahead forecast from the human design perspective, like the energies that are going to be present and influencing us collectively for the year ahead. So stay tuned for that video coming up on January 22nd. If we haven't met before, my name's Karen McMullen, and welcome to this channel where I share all about human design and channeling. I work with multi-dimensional leaders. I am a guide, and I help them to access much greater clarity, to really pinpoint who they are and what they're here for so they hit the mark and make a greater contribution. All right, let's go ahead and hear from Natalia.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I'm really glad that I'm here, and thank you for having me, Karen. Every year I keep telling people that the 1st of January is not the time to start something new yet. So why do I say so? It's because our planet is governed by the sun, and everything on Earth deeply, deeply depends on our movement around the sun. And if you look at Rave mandala, which is actually a graphic representation of how human design is organized, we'll see that each gate in the mandala corresponds to a hexagram, which is taken from Chinese I Ching, and each I Ching hexagram has a profound relationship to our genetics. And when the sun starts 41st hexagram, this signals the start of the new solar cycle, which we call in human design Rave New Year. You know, the role of 41st hexagram is extraordinary because it is an initiating codon. It corresponds to histidine, one of the gene codons in our DNA, which is the only initiating codon in our gene system. And if you imagine the synthesis of our proteins as a sentence, we might say that histidine is the starting point of each sentence, like the capital letter. So histidine initiates everything, which means that the 41st gate starts everything. And moreover, when we look at the 41st hexagram in the body graph, we can see that this is a part of a channel of recognition, 4130, right? And this is the, I would say, fuel and potential for human experiential way. So each year when sun enters the 41st hexagram, it starts the new human experiential cycle together with the sun. So that's why we say that the actual new year is not the 1st of January. It's the time when the sun starts 41st hexagram, and this is every year. It's approximately on the 22nd of January. Approximately, it's because the sun, like the movement of the planets, may differ from year to year, and sometimes it's the 21st of January, and sometimes it's the 22nd.
So basically what she's explaining to us is that the sun transits through each one of these hexagrams in a cycle over the year, staying in one hexagram or one gate for about 6 days. And that gate then creates a collective theme for that week. And this happens every year where we move through a cycle from beginning, middle, and then end.
There is an interesting thing here because we all know that there is this tradition to make New Year resolutions, right? And then somehow, with time, all those resolutions just fade away with very rare execution, so to say. So this happens exactly due to this fact that the time when we think that we are on the start and we have to start something new, it's not the time to start. It's the time to look back and reflect and stop for a moment and assess. So that's why this New Year resolution doesn't really work.
So in this part, Natalia is really helping us to understand how to best utilize the actual energies of the coming weeks as we complete our year.
Okay, so let us go through the stages that we go through before the new cycle begins, okay? So actually the New Year's Eve is when the sun is in the 38th gate. And this is the gate of opposition, which is really funny because the opposition of the gate 38 on the mandala, if you look what is in front of it, it's gate 39. And those who know human design a little bit, they know that there is a deep connection between the gates which are in front of each other. So we have 38, which is the gate of opposition, and we have the gate 39, which is the gate of obstruction, and they together form an incarnation cross of tension. So this actually means that the New Year Eve and this week we are living in now, we have much more tension and pressure put on us than ever during the year, sorry. And of course, this is not the energy to relax and celebrate. You know how much bustling in the world on these days usually, you know, all these like preparations, everyone is running around in a huge tension, a lot of emotions. This is an energy of like opposition, energy where a lot of conflicts may happen. And if you look from a deeper perspective, gate 38 is something about finding the purpose. So actually this week is for looking back and see whether I found the purpose in the previous cycle, whether I found my spirit in the previous cycle, whether there was something fulfilling for me, you know? So this is definitely not about the beginning of something new. It's rather about looking back, stopping, looking back.
And I love this because I have never really enjoyed New Year's Eve. I've never even really celebrated it because I just, like in my younger years, I tried to celebrate it, but it just never was actually a good time. And I tend to just go to bed early on New Year's Eve, which was really confirmed by the fact that the theme of this week is actually struggle and conflict. So it's not really a great time to celebrate, and it's not even a great time to start something.
And as we move forward, we can see that the sun enters the gate 54. And this happens on the 6th of January. And this is the gate of ambition. And what is interesting about this gate is that it carries this deep theme of enlightenment or endarkenment. And this is a very good moment to look around and see really clearly whether there is somebody who is here for me, supporting me, somebody I can trust, somebody I can rely on. Because when the sun enters this gate, this is the moment when it is time to start looking forward based on what people we have around us, what forces supporting us we have around us. And then the sun moves to the next gate, which is 61. And this is the gate of inner truth and mystery. 12th of January, yeah. So on the previous stages, we looked back to see whether there was spirit in my life. And we also looked around to see whether there are those forces supporting me. And if we miss doing that this week, when the sun is in the gate of mystery and inner truth, it's really time to think, to stop and assess quickly, because it's the time the sun energy supporting this theme, to look inside within yourself and see whether there is anything inspiring for me, maybe in the forthcoming cycle, from the point of view of my inner authority, what I would like to do, what is my inner truth, what corresponds to my pure nature, what I would like to do in order to find the spirit, to find the purpose, to find my people. So it's not a week to be in a hurry again, and it's a way of thinking, and it's time to stop and assess. Then finally, as we move forward, we enter the gate 16. And this is very interesting, and this is extraordinary, because gate 60 is called limitation, gate of limitation. And limitation is an extraordinary thing, because it's all about letting go. Letting go everything which is old, letting go everything that doesn't work anymore, all the past, and be ready stepping forward as you are. And limitation, I should say that it is an extraordinary thing, because as soon as you accept limitation, they just vanish. They disappear. There is no longer a limitation. Limitation is all about our mind. It's the mind that distracts us from our real nature. So as soon as you accept limitation, you have this potential for transitoriness and transcendence. Our mind keeps us in these, imaginary limitations, making our life uncomfortable. So this week before the real new year is just letting go everything that doesn't work for you personally, all the patterns that do not work, and start finally accept the limitations of your body, of your uniqueness, because your body is limitation itself, right? So accept it and step forward the new cycle as yourself. And as the sun, so we look through all these 4 stages before the sun starts 41st gate. So if you look through, you can see that this is a very logical and very natural way to complete this cycle in order to really step forward full of energy, empowered by something real. On the 22nd of January, the sun enters gate 41st, histidine, that starts and initiates the new experiential way of the whole humanity and for each person on the planet. So this is something that's really, profound and extraordinary. I was talking about the sun transit at the moment, but things are more complicated, because we get conditioning not only from the sun. We also get energy and conditioning from other planets in our solar system. So when we look at the program of a year in human design, we look at all the activations we have at that moment. So we take this 22nd of January as the moment when we get the imprint from the sun, from the earth, from the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, and so on and so on, Mars, Pluto. And this imprint actually impacts everything which will unfold through the year. So this is a very interesting way to see what weather is gonna be for the humanity during the year. And it's not a bad idea to know the weather in advance. You know, there was a very beautiful saying from Rave. If you do not know the program, if you are not aware about the program breathes through you. But if you are aware about the program, you breathe in the program, and you have your choice. You can decide.
So again, you are invited to come join us on January 22nd to learn about the year ahead and the energies that are going to be the weather around us. I look forward to seeing you in that video. And in the meantime, I'm creating a new video about how to work with limitation and access freedom. So you can check that out there. See you again soon. Bye. Oh, and I guess kind of Happy New Year.